filing in North Carolina closes on December 19th. All eyes on Roy Cooper's race in the Senate. I think he'll probably win. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the Congress and politics. And then Nida Alam running against Fouché. Mark, I don't know what you hear in there. I'm hearing that a lot of the African American leaders are very upset. I don't know. I just Murdoch's fired up. Robert Reeves, who's the minority leader of the House. What are you hearing out there? I mean, I just don't see, as a consultant, I will tell you that I know where we're going here, kind of like a Mamdani kind of, outpouring of support, young progressives are using the Israel and Gaza war as a litmus test. But she still is an incumbent congresswoman. She was a senator. She comes from a very influential family in Durham. What are your thoughts on this race? I still think it being an uphill battle for Alam.
I think it's definitely an uphill battle for her because, like I said, she's just serving in of the current political offices. You got the first Muslim American to hold office here in the state. But yeah, that's going to be an uphill fight and everything. There is a progressive camp that I don't know is as strong as she's probably hoping it will be. I don't see a Mamdani type rebellion against folks.
I received calls to switch my race and run for that just because, I've wanted to run for the 4th congressional for a long time. But I know Valerie Fouché, and I just feel like you're better off running for open seats than against an incumbent. And I think I understand I like Nida Alam. She is a really nice lady, and I know her family very well. But the danger is being, the only guy that did it was Ro Khanna, who, by the way, just endorsed me nationally on a national tweet that thousands got, so we're excited about that. But I think that when you the idea of running 3 times and then you get your name out there, but there's also this idea of being the perennial loser. Right. And I think that's where this is going. And it's very clear to me from the body language, and my last comment before I head out, that I think where this is going is Murdoch's going to do everything she can to get Fouché back in. Then Fouché is eventually going to retire, and I really believe she's going to anoint Murdoch as the heir apparent to the congressional. That's where this is going. So, and I like Natalie Murdoch. I mean, I think she's definitely a sharp cat. The other name I've heard is Leo Williams, the mayor of Durham, but I don't think he'll do it. So.
Yeah, I don't think Leo would do it. I think Leo's content where he's at. He might have some national aspirations, but I think he's content. Before you leave, apparently there's a new gold card that Trump has launched. I was wondering your thoughts about that because he's offering expedited immigration pathway, but it's only going to cost a $1 million fee. And I know Jimmy Kimmel was having a good time with that, as was Stephen Colbert, because I was watching Stephen Colbert last night. But definitely I was wondering your take on this because he's got that, and he's also got a park pass with his picture on it, and he's getting some pushback about that.
Who's that?
Trump is putting together a $1 million gold card. He's saying that this could be good for the U.S.
I got my Trump chocolate bar in my fridge. I haven't eaten it yet. It's probably old. It's like a year old, but he's a showman, man. What can you expect? This is what the guy does, build up your merch and hand it out. But it makes me laugh, and that's the way he is. But you got to love the guy's confidence and swagger, even though he's falling asleep at meetings. The guy's got absolutely tremendous confidence in himself, and I, sometimes lack that myself in politics. So even though I'm a Democrat, I do think that we all have to learn from Trump in terms of just what a great self-promoter he is, and that's what I'm doing. But anyway, listen, I got to run. I'll be on Monday.
I'm looking for you on Monday. Did we learn anything from Miami? Because it looks like some folks were saying Democrats found their 26 message, and Miami just backed it up because apparently that's where they won, even though they had won for the first time in nearly 30 years. So anybody can want to jump on this one, but it looks like because Mayor-elect Higgins is vowing to end reality TV show culture at City Hall. So it looks like they're trying to get some solid issues.
I'll talk about that on Monday. I got to research it, but I do think it's going to be a good showing. I think it's going to be a Democratic year. I think we're going to win back either the House or the Senate. May be tougher, but I think then the conversation becomes who do we run for the White House. I'm beginning to think Newsom is the best guy, just because of his presence, how aggressive he is. But of course, you've got Bashir, you got others, but they've got to really identify a presidential candidate that can take out, that can win back the electoral map. And so I think that's going to be this conversation. I'm sorry I didn't get to hear you totally, but I got to run. I'll be back on Monday, guys.
All right. Toby, your thoughts on some of these news stories and everything, including Nidhi running, as well as apparently Trump is demanding social media handles and everything from travelers if they're going overseas and everything like that. So what's your take on all this stuff?
I think Fushi's hurt by what happened in Charlotte because remember the Charlotte Mecklenburg House Congresswoman who switched and now is wanting to run again. I forgot her name, and I was trying to remember her name, but she was one of the ones that went, that pushed for the immigration thing. She was a black congresswoman there, and people are gonna. There's such a youth push right now. We're taking things from different areas, or people are taking things from different areas, and saying, okay, well, there needs to be a change because this person did it. So I think Nita has a good backing. I don't think she'll beat Fushi. But I think Fushi, will take a hit because of what happened to the individual in Charlotte. In terms of the gold card, that's trash. And no one, I think, one thing Steve said about bolstering the worldview, I guess, because of how of what's going on with Maduro. Mm-hmm. Nobody backs Maduro. Nobody wanted Maduro. What Maduro did was antithetical to any democratic process. He did honestly what Trump tried to do in January 6th. But the way that Trump is going about it is a major problem because of the fact that his claims of this is all about drugs. It's not about drugs when you release the Honduran president, the former Honduran president, who was one of the biggest drug dealers on the planet. So it's not about drugs. Bombing boats and just murdering people off the coast. That's not how you do it. That's why countries have backed away from trading intelligence. They've already stated that they backed away from trading intelligence due to that. So his actions and how he's going about things, and then begging for people to praise him. That's not how you go about it. And that's weakening our stance on a global scale. So, I mean, we can all agree that Maduro is bad. We can all start from that plateau. But how you go about dealing with that situation is where the big difference is, and what Trump is doing by lying, creating false narratives, doing the whole blood for oil narrative. Because you talked about the Daily Show. Well, actually, you talked about Stephen Colbert, but the Daily Show actually did a whole chop up of talking about how they're using the same exact language that got us into the Iraq war with the blood for oil mantra. There's weapons of mass destruction. How many times do we hear that, oh, these drugs are weapons of mass destruction because they kill so many people in the U.S.? It's not an imminent threat when they're taking a little pontoon boat off the coast of Venezuela that's not going to reach the U.S. It's just not possible. Then on top of that, the amount of drugs that they keep claiming are in these boats, they have not shown anything to prove that, one, these are drug dealers, and two, that there were drugs on the boats. All they've done is just bomb things saying, hey, look, we blew these people up. Sure, they had a study. I think it was someone pointed out that the Coast Guard has literally intercepted boats. Has intercepted, what was it, about 400 some odd boats or 200 some odd boats? What was it? 25% of those boats did not have anything, but they've intercepted them. None of those boats they went and bombed and blew up and killed the people on. So we can actually do this. We can actually catch people off the coast without killing them or bombing them or blowing things up. This is just all for show. The Coast Guard should do their job and stop these boats and intercept them, and we should give them due process. That is what the law says. But what we're doing is really just harming our stance in the world, and we're just becoming mercenaries for hire. Matter of fact, the boat that they intercepted and the oil tanker, which is a natural process from the Evidently there's a black market of oil where oil tankers run that are it's a black market around the oil, and oil tankers have been intercepted before, but now we're in Trump is starting a proxy war between Venezuela over drugs and now intercepting oil tankers off the coast. Now Russia actually wants that oil tanker released, because I don't know if you talked about that, Mark, is that hit one of the Russian counselors or the Russian government, somebody in the Russian government was saying that oil needs to be released. That oil needs to come back here or wherever it was going. But Russia was upset about the oil tanker. So now what are we going to do? Now we're going to have a war with Russia over these oil tankers that he's doing in the middle of a war with Venezuela because he's claiming that fentanyl is coming from Venezuela, which it doesn't. What he's doing is wrong.
Well, speaking of things that are wrong and everything along those lines, I see Nick joined us as well. Charlie Kirk's widow and the trial for Charlie Kirk's killer is going on and everything like that. But Erica Kirk has had an interesting thing. She's got a town hall. I think it's going to air, I want to say, on CBS this weekend and everything, but she's sharing a call to action for parents to stop political violence. So what is your thoughts around this? Apparently, Erica Kirk, who is the heir apparent of TPUSA, is saying that parents have to look in the mirror after political violence, and she's urging parents to do that as she's seeing political violence rise. So apparently she's saying that we need to do a better job of looking at political violence, and I guess she's saying on either side and everything like that. But what's y'all's take on Erica Kirk making these statements?
What do you think? What does she think she's going to say? I mean, come on, Mark. She needs to keep her name out there in the general public. So this is one way that she can do it, is to say, hey, we shouldn't have political violence. Well, and your point is?
I mean, until they address Trump, they're not going to do anything. Saying is just speaking it into the wind.
I mean, the thing is, it's like saying, hey, we shouldn't have violence in the world. Good. It's not going to make a difference. I mean, seriously, do we have something better to discuss? Hey, I know what we can discuss. We can discuss Seattle, which is causing a lot of trouble by having their pride parade or whatever it is right in the middle of the World Cup.
Yeah, we discussed that yesterday and everything like that. I don't know that you've got anything new to bring into the discussion.
Well, there's nothing new except Iran and Egypt filed a protest, and for some reason that crazy city continually pushes their agenda as opposed to, just having a World Cup. Wouldn't that be nice, and not having a political World Cup, Mr. Seattle? And I used to live there, and it is very definitely a very liberal city, and I understand that, but they have absolutely no business putting politics in the middle of the World Cup.
It's not politics.
So Seattle needs to grow up, and the thing is, apparently they have not figured that out.
It's not politics.
I figured
do you have a problem with churches putting up because it's during Pride Week? Do you have a problem with churches putting up pride flags during Pride Week, because it's a celebration of Pride Week, and a number of churches of all sorts, of both conservative.
We're not talking about churches. We're talking about Seattle.
And but I'm saying it's the same concept.
Okay, what churches do in North Carolina, I could care less. Okay, this is Seattle and the World Cup. Okay, you just got to cut it out. That's all.
Again, as Mark pointed out, it's not political. It's during Pride Week. It's during a celebration. So them actually putting it up there isn't really anything different than churches putting it up during that week or whatever else. If you take offense to it, then that's a personal issue. It's not political. It's about humanity.
Speaking of humanity and everything, I want to get to something I know that Dr. Sharif's a big supporter of and everything, which is AI. And apparently Trump is not named the person of the year and everything by Time Magazine, but the architects of AI were, and they used this steel beam image that had been historically used before and everything of the various architects, because it's not one architect of AI. So it's several people, and they had the various individuals that are the people of the year, because it's not one person, it's actually people of the year and everything like that in that particular case. And Trump has now signed an order blocking states from enforcing their own AI rules. So what's our take on what's going on with AI, and should AI and the architects of AI got the person of the year? Because apparently that's who got the person of the year, or in this case, probably the people of the year, since it's more than one.
Another case before the Supreme Court. You know, I mean, say the states will argue they have the rights to module the states, and then the federal government's going to say, no, we have the Commerce Clause, we can control it. So it'll probably end up in front of the Supreme Court. You know, in other words, who has the right to make such decisions? Can he do it by way of executive order? That's also another good question. I think it's a legislative function, Mark, you know, but again, that all ends up in the Supreme Court.
But why is it? I mean, what happened to states' rights?
Well, you know, states' rights are limited. I mean, it's limited to what the federal government doesn't control. And the Commerce Clause, this is how they get it to the federal level. They always say, well, it's controlled under the Commerce Clause of the U.S. Constitution. So, you know, but the thing is, what he did is he just threw up something that'll be very interesting. It'll be a lawsuit, and it'll end up in the Supreme Court, and they'll get to make a decision whether or not the 10th Amendment applies or the Commerce Clause applies, or whether he can do it, because remember, he's doing these executive orders, or is it a legislative function before Congress? Because remember, Congress isn't doing anything. Well, they are doing something, but we don't get any reports on that. So it's all about the drama, Mark, which of course keeps the media busy trying to figure this one out.
Speaking of drama, I'm thinking, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm guessing that in Australia, we used to have a gentleman from Australia regularly on the show, but I'm guessing that their ban on social media was definitely impacting the young people. But I'm also guessing that the ban on headscarves was targeted to a particular group and everything like that, because I know they've had protests in that area around some of the Muslim communities and other communities as well. But I don't think that a lot of the go ahead.
Are you talking about Head Start in the U.S. or
headscarves in Australia?
Oh, headscarves. Oh,
what's the issue of headscarves in Australia?
My guess is because headscarves are part of the outfit of a lot of Muslim women. So my guess is that it probably has something to do with that. But I'm just guessing in that sense. But I'm guessing that it probably has some. They're feeling that.
What's the problem? What's the issue, Counselor?
We'll go find out, and maybe.
Yeah, I mean, the only issue I've seen coming out of Australia is they're banning social media.
They are banning social media. Those are the two things that they're banning: social media and the headscarves.
And how are they going to enforce this?
Well, already Reddit, you know, and Reddit's founder is related to one of the husband of one of the Williams sisters, is already sued and is suing the Australia about this ban. So we've already got a ban going on in this sense. And it was the headscarves were for schools for those under 14. So like pre-teenagers is what they're banning and everything along those lines. So
they're banning headscarves for people under 14 in Australia.
Right. And they're banning the social media.
And they're banning social media in Australia.
In Australia.
Okay. And why is this such a big? I mean, why are they doing all this? Why do they like to create problems?
Oh, it's Austria. I'm sorry, it was Austria, not Australia.
Oh, in Austria, same. Ask and answered same question. Austria is part of the EU. Right. That's kind of hard to believe that they would do that. But I don't know why people like to create problems when there aren't any, and not solve problems when there are problems. There's, you know, they're just saying, okay, we're going to create a problem here now. Some people create arguments. Well, people under 16 shouldn't be allowed to have social media. Really? Should they be allowed to breathe? Maybe. You know, I mean, it's maybe the phone should have certain restrictions on them. The parents can plug in, you know, but to do a complete ban is like this I think was done by Australia. It's over the top.
Well, I mean, they've been banned.
Well, scarves? Are you kidding me? People can't wear scarves? Are you out of your bloody mind? You know that they wear scarves here in Spain.
The ban
why are we creating these idiot problems? I mean,
the ban on social media for children under 16 That's understandable because due to the fact of it create the how social media is and it being so unregulated in so many areas, it does create mental health problems for a lot of kids, especially that get attached to social media young. So that's understandable. I can see that some type of regulation around there, and that should happen in the U.S. in terms of somehow regulating that so kids are leading much healthier lives, which is something that we all talk about. So that is understandable, and I can get that. But the ban on headscarves is just another attack on the Muslim community. And that's what that is. That's just direct targeting for the Muslim community. It's the same way they tried to ban braids in the US. That was an attack on the African American community or anybody brown. So
Where did they ban braids?
that went to the court. When was that?
Was that in the United States?
It was in the United States, yes.
Yeah.
Why would you ban braids?
Because it's an attack on the Black community.
Kidding.
It's just what it is. The African American community it wears braids in their hair. Men do that. Women do that. And to target just that type of hairstyle, you're targeting one community over the other because you don't want to say, hey, we want to ban Black people. No, we're banning people with braids. Who wears braids? Black people. It's the same thing with the war on drugs. They went after crack rather than cocaine in the war on drugs. Why? Because more Black people use crack rather than cocaine. Cocaine was that rich exclusive drug. Crack was that cheaper one. It's just that pattern. Particular thing. Yes,
No.
It happened. And that's what happened. And that's what's going on with the ban.
You can't make this stuff up, I guess.
But sadly, people do. And that's what's happening. Is
that's what they were saying in Australia.
Okay, we need to do some more. Yeah, we'll listen to Sharif have some more positive ideas because what's coming out of the world is crazy stuff. Go on.
I want to add a point because today I'm very sad because, I'm a big fan of youth. I'm very, very big fan of youth movement, their empowerment, their political engagement, and my World Talent Economic Forum last 6 years almost we are doing it's in online like an activities and research and innovations and everything. But what Jatuvi discussed about this attract in the communities and other things, today actually very bad things happen in our country. One of the young political leader, he is rising, his name is Hadi, and he was one of the leader of the political movement of Bangladesh. He's one of the popular leaders, and he ran for elections. And I believe that this kind of attract and these things happening everywhere. And today, actually, someone trying to kill him. Right now, he is in coma. His name is Hadi, and someone in Bangladesh. He is very young, rising young politicians, and someone shoot him in the brain at 2:20 p.m. in Bangladesh time after the prayer. And right now, after his surgery, he is in coma. So where is the fact? It happened everywhere. You see the youth movement. If you see these Gen Z revolutions, it's not only Bangladesh. If you see in India, if you see in this Indonesia, Timor, Philippines, Nepal, Kenya, Serbia, Morocco, Mexico, Peru, everywhere actually Gen Zs come to the power. Gen Zs trying to engage with the community. Gen Zs actually, what you discuss about the social media heavily utilized by the Gen Z, right? The young community. And they come up with the innovative idea. They come up with even their TikToks. They come up as influential. They come up as a political peoples. This is very sad. I do not know who is trying to kill him. His competitor want to kill him. India want to kill him, or the outside people want to kill him, or local Bangladeshi people want to kill him. This is very sad. When the young people, they have their right to engage with politics. They have their right to make their society in a better place. They have the right to engage with the technology, go for AI innovations, and they want to make their own world, own peoples. They do not want to see the corruptions. They do not want to see any barrier. They do not want to see the all of the bad things, and they try to take care of these things, and they're sacrificing their life. And by this time, we the intellectual communities, we the all of the elite people just discuss about bullshit, discuss about all of the bullshit. I'm really worried that how my student, my people sacrificing their life in the road. We are not doing nothing. The youth are doing everything. When I see my students, my people, my young people, they are sacrificing their life in the road. What we are doing, we are making a world with all of the bullshit, with the Islamophobia, with the Trump shit, with the all of the capitalist society shit. All of the shit is happening in this world. We are not intellectual at all. We are not a good citizen. We are not a people who can change the world. The youth come to the front. We are criticizing them. We are trying to kill them. We are trying to take their lives. Why we are doing this Spot TV? Why we are doing this World Talent Economic Forum? I don't know. I do not know what is the value of intelligence is. What does mean global citizen? What does mean this American superpower, this culture, this, I don't know. I'm very sad. I'm very sad because I am observing my people are dying. My young people are dying. My people are dying in the road because they come to the front and they, I'm sorry. They just kill our people, my young generation. I'm really sorry. I'm very emotional because when the people when the intelligence, the young people, the community cannot serve the politician, all of the money-making machine kill our whole world. The young people come to the public, they say, I want to take care of these things. And they are in trauma, their family in trauma. Everybody want to kill the young people. Everyone. And they do it. Is it the value? Is it the value? Is it the intellectual society? We born for Islamophobia. We born for all of the corruptions. We born for all of the media coups and everything. We should support these young people. We say Hadi sacrificed his life. He is right now in coma. You can see all of a young man. He's telling the truth. Just the new baby come to his house just few weeks ago. He do not care about his baby. He sacrificed his life. So what we are doing? What does mean is social media? What does mean is these things? So we need to change this world. We need to change this political system. We need to change these corporations. This is my appeal to all of my friends. Hadi is sacrificing his life in Bangladesh. It's not mean in Bangladesh, in Dhaka. It's around the world. So we need to change this world. We need to change this system. We need to support these young communities because they are not alone. I'm sorry because I'm very much emotional today because I'm seeing my people are dying. My students are dying and they are killing by all of the corrupted people. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry about that.
No
Don't
problem.
apologize. Please
No
don't
problem.
apologize. What you said is very powerful, and it is where we should be. Everything you said is where we should be.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to apologize at all because it is definitely something that we need to have more sympathy and even empathy for those that are going through these kind of difficult times and everything like that. That's actually one of the things that's, and you're right, there are so many young people that are being killed and murdered over a lot of times over nonsense and over things along those lines and everything like that, or for standing up for their convictions as well. Because definitely a lot of people are very much standing up for their convictions. We just saw an article, and I mentioned earlier, where the government, I believe it was of Bulgaria, was overturned because of the Gen Z revolution. So yeah, Gen Z is definitely frustrated by a lot of what they're seeing in the world, and they want to see a different and more just world, in my mind, and everything. At least that's the impression I'm getting, and all along those lines from talking to some young people. I don't have any young people directly in my line, except for my nephews and all along those lines. But I know a lot of people are very concerned about what's going on in society. I mean, we saw one of the, and I'm not trying to belittle what you said or what anybody else has said, but hold on a second. We saw a major leader of the cultural world break down in tears over what she saw as the same thing that you saw, because Taylor Swift was upset over what took place at Southport and everything like that. So she mentioned that in her documentary.
Look at a few years ago. Well, the what was it? When people had jumped on Twitter in Egypt and in the Middle East area, how that uprising took place. That was a youth movement.
Mm-hmm.
Look at what's going on in Palestine. The Palestinian people, the majority of them are young. 50% of them have never voted. And when we keep trying to condemn them and say that they are so evil, it is the same thing Dr. Sharif is talking about. All these things, that youth movement in Palestine wanted to change and get away from Hamas. They wanted something new. They didn't want that hung over them. The people in the US, who are the majority of the people that are out protesting against the ICE, against all these different movements? The majority of people are youth. They're trying to make a change. A lot of people complain about when the youth, and this happens in the African American community, how the youth don't really, they feel that they don't understand what's going on historically around Black history and stuff like that. One, they weren't there, but some are trying to understand it. But on top of that, they're trying to move past barriers that they feel are holding them back. So these people are being attacked, and they are regularly being attacked instead of being listened to and being promoted, as Dr. Sharif points out. Because the gentleman that you're talking about, Dr. Sharif, should not be in a coma. He should be celebrated. And that's what a lot of these youth, and this is why when we're on this channel, and I keep trying my best to tell you guys, you're speaking from an old perspective, trying to tell people in the youth, oh, well, you can only do this. No, we should be promoting the youth that say that they can do anything and everything that they want to be able to do. Whatever experiments that they want to try, let's try and utilize their mind. They're in a different reality than we grew up in. The world is completely different now. The hurdles that they have to deal with, the challenges that they have to deal with. We should be finding ways to say, okay, these are opportunities that you can have. Let's figure out ways to get to those opportunities and make your dream what it is, because you have an idea about something new in the world that I'd never even thought of. So why don't we promote those? And honestly, on my side, and I'm at fault of this because I fall into the Trump issue, because I see him as a major hurdle, and I will push back tooth and nail against that major hurdle that harms a lot of the youth. And that is my problem with that, because of his division of people, because of his lies around people. And, in Austria, and you brought up the attacks on the Muslim community. That should not be there. Right. But that's what Trump pushes. This demonization, and these things, they cause harm. And at some point, the joke has to stop. We have to stop joking about it, trolling people about it, knowing that it is causing problems in the community. So these things are reality. When we think, oh, well, he's just saying these things as a joke, that's why I push back so hard. So yes, I fall into that trap, because it is agitating to me, because I see the things, and I've seen things that put me in the same pain that Dr. Sharif is feeling right now.
Right.
I don't like to use anecdotes, personal anecdotes. So it's like, for example, I get a lot of the fire that I have in my belly around this stuff because I know that my father went to jail for me to even speak. So that's why I fall into that trap. I will tooth and nail just like he did to allow somebody else the opportunity to celebrate and do what they can. So I got a lot of fire in the belly from that. And that's a big flaw that I have. But again, we should be promoting the youth more. We should definitely do a lot of the things that Dr. Sharif says about, okay, let's talk about the things that the youth are doing and what are ways that we can activate the youth in this area instead of, hey, they suck. No, they don't.
I mean, we've even seen that on local politics, to your point, Jato, because sometimes people are in the older leadership, and they're in leadership in the, I'd say 50 to 80 or even sometimes 90 crowd and everything like that. And they push back against youth leadership when youth leadership comes out and everything like that. And I've seen that in some of the PACs, and I've seen that in some of the other things. So we should be encouraging them to do their involvement in the political framework, whether it's with unions, whether it's with the Fight for 15, which is definitely a youth-based movement, or whether it's a number of other things. With the Fight for 15 is to get $15 an hour for fast food workers and other. And actually 15 probably isn't going to be enough in this day and time. It probably should be Fight for 25, to be perfectly honest, and everything like that. But yeah, that's definitely youth risen and a youth movement. And even we saw that one of the people in the immigration fight, because that was a youth movement and still is a youth movement, like you said, Jadobi, but Mr. Garcia was actually just released, but now the government is talking about trying to find a way to put him back in jail and everything like that. But
and the thing is, with that, they're using him as an example.
Mm-hmm.
Example of what? Example of demonize more Hispanic individuals, which you've already said that you really can't stand. Example to demonize people from S-hole countries and only want to bring in white people because they come from nice countries. That is the problem, and that's why it gets me upset. Is that we should not be doing that. We should not be doing that at all. We should be able to be honest and say that's wrong. But no, we get into the debates of, well, like I think it was a few days ago when we got into the discussion of, well, did he really say this individual from Somalia? It doesn't matter. He's demonizing all Somalians.
Right.
And then if you take a look at it, he's going even further with the demonization of the Muslim individuals, because what is your first thought? Are you thinking about Christianity coming out of Somalia, or are you thinking about Muslim individuals coming out of Somalia? Then if you keep down the whole brown skin path, who do you think Muslims are, white or brown? So it becomes a whole this is all connected. It is all connected. And we just have to realize that, and let's preach peace and positivity and not celebrate and sanitize to justify all the negativity and create more problems.
Yeah, I would agree. Now, even Ukraine, which I know we're going to have that show coming up in 14 minutes, is very much youth-led and everything like that. So a lot of that is a youth-led movement in what they're doing to fight against Russia's invasion and everything like that. And I imagine that even in some of the countries in the African continent, because a lot's going on in Africa and we don't talk enough about that, including the Rwanda-backed M23 offensive against the Congo area and the RSF capturing key Sudanese oil hub and everything that's going on, and even Benin having a coup and everything. But a lot of these are youth-led movements, and we don't spend enough time even paying attention to what's happening in other parts of the world, because apparently there was a fouled Benin coup that and that leader sought refuge in Togo and everything. But we got to pay attention to what's going on in the world. There are multiple continents, and sometimes we become a little bit, and that's where I get frustrated sometimes, even on this network, a little bit too Eurocentric and everything like that. So we have to see what's going on in other parts of the world, including Asia, where Dr. Sharif is, and including the African continent. I'm still trying to get in touch with Brother Mike and others from the African continent so we can even have some shows from that area, because we ignore entire major parts of the world, even here on Pod TV.
Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry today. I'm very emotional because of
No
I'm observing my peoples are dying and they're trying to killing the youth communities, and he's right now in coma.
Yeah.
One thing, like those who want to stop this youth, the technological improvement, this open society, this democracy, and all of the freedom of speech. Remember, you can kill one people. Let's say you can kill Hadi. Maybe you are watching what I'm discussing today shows. But you cannot kill the ideology, the philosophy, what the youth are bringing in the society. Youth bring in the society, they want freedom of speech. They do not want corruptions. They want economical empowerment. They want a new society. They want the better society. You cannot kill the ideology. You cannot kill the philosophy. If you kill one Hadi, millions of Hadi will come and they will protect it. If you kill 2,000 young people, millions of young people will come and they will protect their motherland. They will protect their city. They will protect their home. So maybe the killer, you are observing my shows, because I also sharing these things in Bangladesh, and we are heavily promoting this Pot TV in Bangladesh and in South Asia. So you cannot kill the mindset, the philosophy, what the youth people has, what the young generation has, how they connect through this technology, how they connect with their innovations. So I request all of my friends, be united for better world. Be united for the safety and security. Be united for the new world. Because youth are sacrificing their maximum. They have their lives. They're sacrificing their life for the better world. So what is the logic? Where is the honesty and sincerity and philosophy? So I believe that, I'm sorry again that I become very emotional, because I cannot, stop myself when I see the again and again and again youth are sacrificing life because of the corrupted people, the corrupted politician, the corrupted businessman. We should stop them. So that is my visions, and until or unless we can fix these corruptions, we will continue this movement. We will fix this this dishonesty, and we can solve all the emerging economic problem. We will continue these things. You cannot stop this youth movement. You cannot stop this Gen Z. So that is my views, and that is my philosophy also.
And you should be ashamed of what you're saying.
Real quick though, real quick. Dr. Sharif, a person you should look up is Fred Hampton. Look into who he was, what he said, because one thing that you just said was exactly what Fred Hampton said. Because what his movement was, I mean, his movement was a little similar than what you're talking about. But what he always said was, you can kill the revolutionary, but you can never kill the revolution. So I suggest looking to Fred Hampton and his movement, because what you're saying is so true. Everything you said is true. You can, the messenger can go down, but the message is there. The revolution is there. And we just have to be able to understand and work with that, work with the youth, uphold the youth, promote the youth, because those are the leaders. We shouldn't be trying to indoctrinate and all this other stuff. No, you got to promote, you got to celebrate, you got to channel their energy to get the solutions done for the world that we're living in tomorrow. Because today is halfway done. Tomorrow is where the action is. Tomorrow is what needs to be figured out.
And along those same lines, definitely look up Fred Hampton. Definitely look up even Stokely Carmichael and the Black Panthers and a number of other folks that were definitely believing that, even Dr. Martin Luther King, that even if when he died and was killed, that the revolution would not stop and everything like that. And he even had some quotes based on that. And you can even look up the Occupy movement, because the Occupy movement believed that there was not one leader, but that there was multiple leaders, because they felt that if you cut off the head, then sometimes people think that you've cut off the revolution. And a lot of people will say that that is not the case. Sometimes, like y'all have both said, you just ignite the revolution, because that's even what I've argued on this show about what's going on in Palestine and Gaza. If you keep killing folks in those areas, then you're probably making more revolutionaries, not less revolutionaries, and everything like that. So that is just the case of what goes on when you've got people that are trying to terrorize an entire group of people. So yeah, I definitely agree that that is an important part of the conversation as well. So definitely heart goes out to what Dr. Sharif is going through. He just went off, and I know we got to get ready to get to the Ukrainian show in about 7 minutes or so. But yeah, my heart definitely goes out to him and everything. But yeah, there's a lot of folks, including those that are working with gang violence even here in this area, that are dealing with similar kind of situations where people are being killed needlessly and everything like that. So, but there are people that are fighting for a better world, and whatever ways we can make this a better world, that is a great thing. So, like I said, my heart definitely goes out to Dr. Sharif. I could feel his pain and what he was going through and everything like that. So definitely my heart goes out to him. And like I said, we've got to do a better job, and we've also got to do a better job of listening to our youth and actually listening across the board, whether it's the youth or whether it's the elderly and everything like that. But we've got to do a better job of creating a better world. Folks used to tease me when this network first started, when I would bring up Imagine, which is John Lennon's view of a better world, and a world where there was no war and no this or that. And sometimes people on this network would tease me that that was idealistic and everything like that, or not realistic. And it may not be realistic, but at least we need to work and strive toward that.
Yep, definitely. And don't get me wrong. I mean, there's natural conflict and all that stuff. It happens. But the thing is, we should be able to manage that conflict a lot better. We shouldn't be looking to destroy, demonize, and hate others. I mean, we should racism is built off ignorance and the demonization of others. Instead of using color as a way to degrade people, we should be using color as a way to celebrate. Hey, I don't know this culture. I don't know these individuals. I would like to know how to make my potato salad without raisins in it.
Right. Or know some of the dishes that people may not even know, or that they think are certain ethnic type foods and everything like that. So sometimes we need to celebrate that and everything. People will laugh at UNESCO for representing or recognizing a certain food as a national or international treasure, that being Italian food. I had no problem with that. I think that we ought to recognize and honor a lot of traditions around the world. And if UNESCO wants to make Italian food the first one, and then go for Trinidadian food or Jamaican food or other foods to get that honor next, I would have no problem with that as well. But yeah, we definitely need to find ways to recognize and honor the various parts of society and the various parts of each part of the world's culture and everything like that. Because I would love to know more about Australian culture or New Zealand culture. I don't know that much about the Maoris. I know that they exist, but I'd love to know more about them. And I'd love to know more about the folks in Fiji, and even the people in Spain and Finland and various other parts of the world. So even on here on this network, we can find ways to learn more about individuals. That's personally one of the reasons I like the show that I do on Wednesdays. I'm always inviting people from different parts of the state as well as different parts of the world that I don't know until that show goes on. And the same when I bring them on this network as well. So we can find ways to learn from each other.
Yep. I mean, my thing is I enjoy hearing everybody. I like learning about people who are in my backyard and who aren't in my backyard. Right. So wherever you're from, I enjoy it. I mean, one of my favorite shows, I like watching comedy from everywhere, from the British humor to Doctor Who to I mean, and right now there's a group. They have their little YouTube channel. I'll watch them. I think they're based out of Australia. They could be out of Sri Lanka. No, not out of Sri Lanka. But yeah, I think they're out of Australia. But I mean, I like learning. I like accents. I like hearing stuff. I just don't like the demonization of others. That's my thing. No, everybody puts their pants on one leg at a time. Nobody jumping in and doing magic flips around it. No, one leg at a time.
One leg at a time, and do it that way and everything like that. So definitely that is something going on, and everybody has got their things that they root for and things that they enjoy doing, whether it's cultural things, whether it's sports teams. One person may be a cricket fan, somebody else may be a football fan, but it doesn't mean that one is more right than the other. It's just that they have different styles of sports that they like, or different games that they like, or different hobbies that they like. Just because one person likes a chess or likes the chess game doesn't mean that the person that loves backgammon is wrong and everything like that. So people have their different hobbies that they have as well. So it's just a matter of us learning from each other and celebrating each other's hobbies. That was what I would say.
Exactly. We're in the immortal words of Will Ferrell. Everybody love everybody. And from Tropic Thunder.
From Tropic Thunder, everybody love everybody. That is what is going on there. But definitely our sympathies go out to the family of the family that Dr. Sharif was talking about and everything like that. So definitely, hopefully he can recover in whatever way he can and everything like that. So definitely we'll see what's going on in that space. Oh, no,
Yep.
Sasha. Where is Sasha? I see Dr. Jonathan, but I don't see Sasha on the other network. So get ready to get on out of here. This has been a good show and a very powerful show. So I'll catch you later, Jacoby, and we'll see what else is going on in the rest of the shows here on the network. So you have a good one, and I'll catch you on Monday here, if I don't catch you somewhere around the city of Durham. So you have a good one.
All right, I'll see you, Mark. And it's snowing. Well,
it is snowing out
flurries.
there?
They're flurries. Yeah, little flurries. Here and there. It's
All right.
not like a regular flurry. Just here and there, not even a dusting. It's just there's a flurry here and there.
All right, well, we're going to get out of here and we'll see what they got over there.